Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video, I'm going to be covering Shift. He made his first appearance in Miles Morales, Spider-Man, issue number 25, that was released in April of 2021. He also goes by the alias Big Guy, and he's a human mutate clone of Spider-Man Miles Morales, currently being an ally of Miles, although he did originally start as his enemy. Shift also naturally would stand 5 feet 8 inches tall and weigh 160 pounds, also having brown eyes and black hair. Yet due to his unique molecular structure, he typically stands much taller and is much heavier. He's basically a buff or tank Miles Morales. This is due to Shift's unique ability that's different than the other Spider-Men, seeing as how he can shapeshift by expanding, contracting, or stretching his own mass, which allows him to not only change his appearance, but also grow multiple limbs and multiple appendages. In turn, this allows him to have significantly more base level strength than the other Miles Morales Spider-Man. I approximate that he has low-level, vast superhuman strength levels, as well as increased durability when compared to Miles as well. And similar to his genetic template, he has vast superhuman reflexes and agility, as well as that precognition type of spider sense. However, Shift does not have any form of venom shock, but he can generate a unique type of gas. And although it may be seen as a weakness that he has the inability to communicate effectively, typically only saying one word or two at a time, he is noted as having a gifted intellect, meaning that he's no fool. Now, his inability to speak and his uncontrollable shapeshifting that he used to have stemmed from him having an unstable molecular structure. You see, subsequent to a villainous AI named the Assessor capturing and experimenting on Miles Morales to examine his powers and skills, this intelligence would make multiple clones of the young hero, namely Shift and his brothers, named Selim and Mindspinner, shaping these spider clones to be perfect weapons as they aged quickly. Now, Shift was actually considered to be a failure due to his unstable form until the Assessor found a way to exploit these abilities. But eventually Shift and his two quote-unquote brothers would escape from the Assessor. However, since they weren't initially designed to live on their own, they would take a scientist and put him in a warehouse to make him create a cure. Now, we'd later see the original Miles Morales and Peter Parker of Earth 616 looking around to try to figure out who was committing crimes as Spider-Man. Shift would come across them on a rooftop, and the three would do battle. And although Shift was taking a beating, he'd be rescued by his brothers, who would all attack Miles, which caused Spider-Man Peter Parker to jump in as well. And in this scenario, the three clones would end up beating the two Spider-Men unconscious and escaping. Subsequent to this, we'd see Miles track them down to their secret warehouse, and he would destroy the compound that they were making to stabilize themselves, because he wrongly believed that it was a formula to make more evil clones. This caused Shift and his brothers to brutalize Miles and web him up. Even after Miles addressed his mistaken assumption, the two brothers Selim and Mindspinner didn't believe him and left him there under the watch of Shift to go take out his mother. This is where Shift would start to shift in his viewpoint, starting to sympathize with Miles and actually letting him go. This drama would come to a head when Selim kidnapped their baby sister, Billie, and took her to the Brooklyn Bridge in order to prove that he was better than Miles. And when Shift moved in to rescue his sister from his fellow clones, Selim would attack him, although he would be saved by his other brother, Mindspinner. His two clone brothers would end up dying here in an explosion, with Shift and Miles then leaving the Brooklyn Bridge with their sister, and Miles welcoming him into the family, promising that he would help him find a way to stabilize his cells. And it's important to take note that their baby sister Billie would sneeze on Shift at this point. Some time would go by, and it would later be determined that that sneeze would cause Shift's body to produce antibodies that would fight a cold, which somehow stabilized his cells. Following this point, we'd see Shift and Miles act almost as partners, with the two of them hunting down Assessor and infiltrating his company called Asset Analysis Incorporated, looking into the experimentation with interdimensional portals that he was now doing. They would battle their way into the Assessor's compound, and after tossing around a few NPCs, they would encounter a powerful being who was virtually the avatar of the space gem, named Quantum. They would quickly realize that Quantum was a victim of the evil AI as well, being under his influence. And the three of them together would take down the Assessor for good. Shift and Miles would then go through some of these portals to visit various other realities, with Miles deciding to go look for his Uncle Eric. But on one of these occasions, the two would end up landing in a dimension where Selim took out Miles at the Brooklyn Bridge, and then created his own personal empire in Brooklyn. They would soon run into trouble with some of Selim's henchmen, but were rescued by a resistance fighter that was a version of their sister Billie. During this experience, Shift would even encounter and defeat a monstrous version of himself called Lord Shift. And after much struggle and battling, also with the help of Aaron Davis, Shift and Miles would finally take down this variant of Selim. These three heroes definitely earned their return trip to their original universe. Now, for his powers and abilities and his influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Shift a rating of 7, which is a master rating. I hope everyone enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like, subscribe, and join the new Sage.